Well, you all know that we probably have a very good Green Party candidate for president this year. Her name is Jill Stein, and you could look her up at the Jill.org website. Very interesting website that shows where the Green Party will be able to have ballot access in this election. Anyway, and she's a very interesting person. I think everybody would be very happy to be able to see who she is and what she stands for, because I think we should all stand for those same things.
Let's see, we've got outrageous statement of the week from Willard M. Romney, the presumed nominee of the Republican Party for President of the United States. Now, Mr. Romney, given his proclivity for every time he opens his mouth sounding like a caricature of somebody from an F. Scott Fitzgerald novel, probably will wind up with this designation more than once between now and November. But this week, Mr. Romney came out and took credit for saving the U.S. automobile industry, almost in those exact words. This is very curious, seeing as how in late 2008, Mr. Romney penned an op-ed piece in the New York Times which was titled, "Let Detroit Go Bankrupt." In other words, he was against giving the $80 billion that the U.S. government lent to the automobile industry, which saved the automobile industry from disappearing from the manufacturing component in the United States. And in fact, GM has resumed its position as the #1 in sales of cars worldwide. And both GM and Chrysler have paid back the money with interest that they got from the taxpayers. So it would appear that Mr. Romney's claim for credit of saving the automobile industry, since he was, per his op-ed piece, totally against giving money to the automobile industry in the first place, his claim of being responsible or deserving credit for saving the American automobile industry is a bit like Neville Chamberlain claiming credit for the victory over Germany in World War II. Now, the probably common sense statement of the week goes to the current president of the United States for coming out in favor of gay marriage. I would ask Mr. Romney, who was in favor of gay marriage before he was against it, which he is now, because you can't become the nominee of the Republican Party without being against gay marriage in particular and gay rights in general. So formerly he was for gay rights, and then he was against it. I would ask him and people like him on what basis they would deny two people who care about each other the right to enter into a legal and long-term relationship with all the rights owing thereto under our laws. Is it Mr. Romney's personal religious objections to homosexual activity that causes him to do this? Or is it Mr. Romney's pandering to the base of right-wing religious voters in the Republican Party that he needs not only to get that party's nomination, but also to have any hope of being elected president? It's pandering to that group that makes him say that people who are in love with people of the same sex shouldn't be able to get married. And then I would ask those people further, on what basis they say that such activity precludes the rights of heterosexual people from homosexual people. The Christians to whom Mr. Romney likely is pandering would tell you that, and it is true, that the Bible expressly condemns homosexual activity. However, the Bible also condemns the eating of pork and shellfish, and it prescribes as a penalty for not only homosexuality but also adultery and talking back to your parents, a penalty of death. We no longer accept most of these, even though that they're in the Bible. And the reason that Christians would say is, well, that's the old covenant. That's the ministry of Jesus ushered in a new covenant, and some of those old laws no longer apply. Well, we'll put aside for the moment the question of how an all-knowing, all-powerful, all-wise deity could change his mind about things as simple as the penalty for talking back to your parents or engaging in homosexual the fact of the matter is, if you're talking about a new covenant, if you look at the Gospels themselves, Jesus himself never had anything to say about homosexuality, not a word. So why is it that we selectively choose to enforce that as a item of religious doctrine and not the others? Anyway, it's a great day in Friday Harbor. Wish you a good day. Thanks very much.